Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So I've decided to just, come on unannounced because I have the opportunity to do so. And there's always a lot of things that I want to discuss with MGTOW, but I don't always have the time to actually do so. So when I do, I like to take advantage of it. Now, what I want to talk about is well, unsurprisingly, I believe it's Andrew Tate, the guy who was recently deplatformed and is all over the place talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I don't really know the guy or his content or anything like that. But it strikes me, as a kind of a pickup artist, red pill awareness kind of mindset, is what he's, endorsing. And I've always, disliked it. I've always felt that there was something ugly and underhanded about the whole PUA red pill, mindset. It's better than a blue pill mindset, but it's still, not quite right. And the man is using the phrase "men of high value." How important it is to be a man of high value. Now, I don't know too much about that, but I do know a little bit about values themselves, and the thing that you have to ask yourself regarding, being a man of high value, or whenever anybody's talking about values, the only question, the pertinent question is of value to who? Of who, is this to value? So, we've got this guy who's, been deplatformed, but actually has a larger platform as a result of that, talking about being a man of high value and acting, very pleased with himself about being a man of high value. And I have no problem with that. I mean, you go, right? You go get them, Tiger. Go ahead, make all the money you want, have all the things you want. Think of yourself in any capacity that you want. But when you say being a man of high value, now you're kind of coming a little bit into my territory. And this is values, not, having lots of stuff. And of course, the question is of value to who? And, the answer, of course, in this particular instance, and why it's worth talking about, is he's saying being of high value to women is what he's saying. Having a lot of money, being handsome and good looking, being charming, and, being able to seduce people at will, having high sexual market value. And, I have no problem with these things. Go for it if that's what you're interested in. But MGTOW is the awareness that this effort of being this man of high value to a gynocentric world is a fool's errand. Okay? Well, what is it going to take for you to be a man of high value to a gynocentric world? Do you need $150,000 a year? Do you need $250,000? And of course, it also depends on the company that you're in. You know what I mean? If you're hanging around with people who are making millions of dollars, well, you're going to need, more than that to be a man of value in that regard. So it's this horrible mindset of being of value to other people, okay? Having the things that make other people like you or that they are impressed with you. Now, there's nothing wrong with the idea of, you're a hard worker, you get things done, you're proud of that, you value that. That is a, thing of high value in your life, and other people value that. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's, a normal kind of human ambition. We want to be of value to the world and the group that we're in. This helps us feel justified. Okay. But what if the world is measuring your value by how much money you give to women? Okay. So, and I've actually spoken about this in a pretty good video. Not sure which one, but just the idea that the woman isn't looking for just a man who has a lot of money. That's not enough. Oh, no, no, no. She needs a man who has a lot of money that's also a simp, that will try to buy her affections, that needs her validation. So if you're a man who wants to be a man of high value, okay, and you don't already have values that you value, pardon me, then what are you going to do? Are you going to acquire resources to give them away to other people so that they consider you valuable? Because I'm pretty sure that's what, the guy I'm talking about, it's Andrew Tate, isn't it? That's his name. Yeah, like, I don't know. Why should I know? Is that the game that you want to play? Do you want to be a wealthy man so that you can be surrounded by people who don't care about you or anything that that you care about, and they're just trying to hustle you for money? Is that it? Would that be like, woohoo, I made it. This is it, So like you're the boss of the corporation. You've got this large enterprise and you're building various things, and your employees are coming in and they're saying things like, wow, boss, that's a great outfit. Wow, boss, that's a great car. Wow, boss, that was a really smart decision to, bring the company in this direction. But they're not bringing you any work or progress or, algorithms or engineering. They're not bringing you any of that. They're just bringing you a bunch of compliments. How would you like to be able to go out onto a stage in front of tens of thousands of people, and for all of those people to just be really thrilled to have you there, and they're just applauding like crazy, and they've all paid good money, to come and to see you, okay? And that's it. You've got nothing to say, nothing to offer them, nothing of value, just that's it. There's no songs to perform. There's nothing to sing. There's nothing to say. You're just going to stand there and they're going to applaud for you and they're going to give you validation and approval. Okay. And this is going to translate into money. Okay. Is that enough? Is that good enough for you? I mean, sure, take the money, right? Who's not going to take the money? Who's not going to take, I suppose you could take the compliments and the credit and the validation, but it's for nothing, right? That you haven't done anything to earn it. So this is the place that you need to be strong. And this is internally, inside of you, your values. People often say stuff like, you need to have values in order to have self-respect. And indeed you do. And of course, recognize that most people do not have any values. What they want is approval and bias confirmation and validation from large groups of people. I could talk about this for a long time. It's known as living secondhand. The person's never doing anything with their life. They don't want anything in life. They don't have anything in life. All they want is the approval and the validation of the group, because that's it. That's their existence. That's the end all and be all of their existence. So if everybody's happy with them and applauds them and watches their videos, okay, boom, success. And if they don't, boom, failure. But is that the case? Is that what's really happening? Because we can talk about people that are very successful, very popular, very well loved, that end up, snuffing themselves out, right? So you've got somebody like Robin Williams. You've got all kinds of famous people. And it's not enough, okay? I don't want men that are involved in MGTOW to come to that place, to realize they've spent their whole life trying to gain the validation of other people, that it failed, it blew up in their face, as well it should, because it's unworthy, of a human being. And now they have nothing because they are nothing because they care about nothing and they worked on nothing and they sacrificed nothing. So why you do what you do is a huge deal, okay? Two people go out and they want to create a media empire and have influence in the world, okay? One of them is doing it because, shit, they just want to be popular. They just want to be famous. You know, you ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they'll tell you they want to be famous. And if you ask them famous for what, they'll say they don't care. This is what I'm talking about. This is the validation, that the people are seeking. This is what mass media and popular culture is enticing you into accepting as your nourishment, as what you use to get by in life. And I'm telling you that it is empty, meaningless, and will lead you into the depths of despair and human suffering because it's empty. There's nothing there. Okay, so you could have all the popularity, you could have all the money, you could have all of the approval and all of the views and all of the credit. And guess what you've got? You've got nothing because it's not real. It's you. It's the individual jumping through hoops or giving over resources to the woman so that the woman will be nice to him. God forbid that man should ever ask himself the question if she really likes him or respects him, because you as MGTOW know the answer to that question, okay? But the other men out there that are still seeking this approval and this validation and this secondhand way of living through other people's approval, they don't know it. And they're still seeking it. And they're still saying, oh, honey, what if I get a second job? And what if this allows you to just sleep all day and pretend to go to beautician school at night? Will that be enough for you to stay and for you to treat me with kindness and dignity and affection? Now, everybody wants these things. It's not weak to want, to be treated with affection and approval and things like that. That's a normal human feeling. What's weak is to think that you're going to buy it from this woman who's withholding it. I share this great wisdom, okay? You want to know how to get people to do what you want them to do? Find out what it is they want and then withhold it from them. And only give it to them in so much as that they will give you what you want. And that's how you get people to do what you want them to do. It also works with animals like dogs and anything that you want to teach a trick to, okay? Find out what it wants, withhold it, and only give it what it wants when it gives you what you want. This should sound very familiar to you guys, okay? Because this is how the world treats men, right? And the deal is that if you can earn enough money and have enough stuff and be handsome enough and good looking enough and charming enough and likable enough, that we will give you our approval and our affection in so much as that you provide these things to us. Now, is that acceptable for you? Is that enough? It's better than nothing, right? It's better than, people spitting on you, that's for sure, or putting you in jail, okay, which you don't want that. It's better than that, but is it enough? The answer is no, of course not. It's a fool's errand. It's fool's gold is what it is. It's empty. It's meaningless. As a matter of fact, the more you pursue it, and the more you get it, and the more that it actually satisfies you, the more you have actually betrayed yourself, okay? So when these guys are out here talking about picking up women, talking about making lots of money, talking about being really popular and getting a lot of attention, what they really are they're sniveling dogs. They're dogs who go around from person to person and try to slide their head underneath the person's hand to get a pet. And then they roll over on their belly in front of them to try to get a tummy rub or a pat on the belly or a pat on the head. Okay? So, that's what bothers me about the PUA red pill pickup bullshit, is that this guy is still trying to appease the women and please a world that holds him in no value. So it's like, no, guy, you're not winning this game. You're just the one out of 1,000 that has done okay in this game and now is lording it over everybody else and is walking around like, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. And, I got a surprise for you. All right. The reason why people are successful is because they're controlled opposition, because they're actually useful to the people who have the exact opposite views on the situation. And that's why they promote them. And that's why, they push them. And that's why people want to pay attention to them. Not because they're saying anything of value, but because they're actually working against their own interests. And other people who are smart enough are going to let them do it. Look, if you want to make a bad chess move, I'll let you make it. I'm not going to say anything. Go ahead, break out that A pawn or that H pawn on your first move. I'm not going to say anything. I'm glad it lets me know who I'm dealing with, right? So I just don't want men to get this idea that, the goal here is to have a massive money and to be really successful and popular and a man of high value in this world. Because this world, the place that it places value onto is your simpishness. It's not that you're a rich man, it's that you're a rich man who will give it away. That's what they're looking for, okay? And when, the red pill PUA guys are talking their shit, what they're really saying is that the women really like me because I've done what they want me to, what they wanted me to do. That's it. That's what he's offering. And at the end of that road is that you have betrayed yourself for human affection that you should have had naturally based on your values. Okay. So let's say we work together and let's say every day I pick you up on the way to work and give you a ride into work. But then let's say my car breaks down. You still got a car. Now you're going to have to go, a mile or so out of the way to pick me up. Okay. But I've picked you up every day for the last year or so. What are you going to do? You're going to pick me up? You're going to pick up the person who drove you into work every day for a year, or you're going to leave them stranded. Okay. If you will pick them up, as you should, then you are a man of value, a man with values, and a man who sacrifices for his values. And I want to be friends with somebody like that because I know that I can loan them money and that they'll pay me back. I know that I can do them a favor and that someday, if I need it, they'll do me a favor. The man has values. This is what's important. This is the substance of your life. This is the substance of your relationships. Only the people who can recognize what you have, the value that you have, and return the value of the type that you're looking for. Only these people can help you in life. The other person could give you $1 million and it'll have strings attached. There'll be a different price to pay for it. $1 million is a bad example because it's so much money, you know what I mean, that you could do a lot with it. And this really does then come into a question of, do the ends justify the means? Like if you can get that $1 million, but then you're going to do the right thing with it, well, you got to do what you got to do. So it's real good to see you guys. Thank you guys all for stopping by. Let's see. What does Ghost LaClan have to say? He says, in 2022, high-value man equals high-value target. They, society, women, weak men, are passing laws daily to extract our resources and transfer our earned wealth to them because inequality, democracy. Yeah, and I would toss in vagina. Let's also toss that in there too. This is, very interesting because they have to pass the laws. They have to convert the group to this way of thinking. Otherwise, it suggests that they might not be right. And this is inconceivable. It's intolerable to them, to think of such a thing. So we're in this really nasty struggle with a bunch of stupid people, and they want to convince all of us that, they're the smart people. And if you don't go along with them, they'll say you're just like Hitler. Okay. They'll say you're an Islamophobe, homophobe, whatever. This is their standard of value. Okay. They don't have genuine value. So imagine you want to play a game of baseball, football, whatever. Okay. And you're picking up teams and you got a guy or you got a person there who is really good at the game. They are great at the game. They're going to help you win this game. You pick this person, you got a good chance of winning the game. All right. But you've got another choice. And the other choice is the boss's son. Okay. Or the nephew of the boss. And he can't play worth a shit. But if you take him onto your team, the boss is going to appreciate that. And you might get a promotion out of it. Okay. What do? Who do you pick? Well, it depends on your values. If you value winning the game, if you value competition, if you value hard work, you're going to pick the best player. But if you value getting ahead in the company, you're going to sacrifice the game and you're going to pick the boss's nephew as your teammate because that's going to get you the promotion. So values are automatically in relation to each other. There's no such thing as just something of value. It's a relational situation. Also, before you could make this decision of who to pick for your team, okay, the best player or the nephew of the boss, you're going to have a struggle internally, an internal conflict where you weigh your values, where you decide, where you say to yourself, well, I want to win the game, so I need the best player. But then again, it's a company game. It's really not about winning. If I pick the boss's nephew, I score some points here. Which one of these things is more important to me? Now, let's also add in that the best player also happens to be your best friend and knows that you need to pick him to win the game. And you don't. You pick the boss's son or nephew, right? Okay. Well, you just had a struggle with your own values and you've just made a choice. Now, your friend, the best, the person who can really play the game, they're going to be like, yeah, man, fuck that shit, man. That's a bunch of bullshit. But I understand why he did it. So having values is a struggle. It's a conflict. Every day, every moment, you have to fight for your principles and your values. This doesn't mean you have to force them on other people. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean that you have to explain them to other people. That's not what it means. It means that you have to be true to your own values. And if you're not, the response is guilt and shame. That's what we feel when we betray ourselves. And we do it to get what we want. Like you want to sleep with the pretty girl and she's like, I only go out with men who are feminists. And you're fucking MGTOW and you're like, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm a feminist. Right? Because being a feminist means that you believe in equality between men and women. Yeah. I mean, what a simple little trick that is, right? Like if you're a communist, you believe in people not suffering. Do you believe in people not suffering? Yes. Well, then you're a communist. It's like, no, I'm not a communist. So, you want to play these games? You want to jump through these hoops for the rest of your life? Do you want to be on your deathbed and say, wow, I jumped through some serious hoops. I got some attractive women to go along with me when I really didn't care about them or like them, and they didn't care and like about me, or like me. I got a lot of money that, wow, I really just kind of never really deserved it and kind of just hustled it up. And I got a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a hustler, but not really much of a worker, not really much of getting anything done. And okay, goodbye. It's all over. Life ends. Boom. Is that it? Is that what you want? Is that okay? I don't think it is. Okay. I think you've got more going on there. I think that if somebody picks you up and drives you into work every day, and then they need a ride into work, that you're going to give it to them. I think if somebody buys you lunch every day and then they need you to buy them lunch, I think you're going to buy them that lunch. And I respect and I admire that. And I want to be friends with somebody like that. And I want to chat with somebody like that. And I want to hear what they have to say in the comment section. But this guy, Andrew Tate, now, I don't know him personally. Don't get me wrong. He's probably been through a lot of hard shit. But do I want to talk to him? No, of course not. That's a bunch of bullshit. He wants to brag to me about how much money he's got. He wants to brag to me about how many women like him. He wants to brag to me about how he picked the boss's nephew for his team, and now he got a promotion. Okay? But he fucking betrayed his own principles. He turned his back on his friends. But he's popular, and the women like him. And what I'm suggesting is that if that's all you've got, that you've got nothing. And that, hey, it'll make you happy for a while. It's cool. I got no problem with it. I'm just saying it's not enough. Let me check out some more comments here. Okay. Luigi says, a normal guy is supposed to be happy, settling for some used up 29-year-old. Such a pity. This society has zero standards on women and all the control over men. No, I 100% agree right there. It's just, I think you're being way too generous. Some used up 29-year-old. Try more like a used up 49-year-old with a few kids. Shit, the men would be real happy to take the used up 29-year-old. She's all over TikTok. She's making millions of dollars a year selling her farts in jars. I kid you not. Check out my friend Gone with John's channel. Yeah, he does the investigative reporting, the hard work, right? I do the editorial shit. Yeah, videos on women who sell their farts in jars, and now they're, making a lot of money. So, is that it? Is the money, is that, you think she's going to stand up in front of a conference, you know what I mean? And say, let me tell you guys about some business practices. What you do is you go out and you get yourself some little mason jars, and then you eat yourself some beans. And you really think that everybody wants to hear about her business advice, right? And do you really think that the Porsche that she drives doesn't smell like farts? And do you really think that the sweater that she gave to her niece or to her nephew doesn't smell like farts? And, what happens when, she wants to get her diet under control and start eating well again? I guess there's no more money there. So I'm saying it's not the height of human existence. Okay. People think, like, if you ask people, what do you want to be happy? They'll tell you they want all the money in the world. They want all the sex in the world, and they don't want to have to pay a price for anything. They want to be able to stay up and not get tired, things like that. Turns out that's not what makes people happy in life. Okay. That destroys people. You give people that, they destroy themselves. What makes people happy in life is having meaningful, purposeful work that you care about. That's one. Having a small group of friends where you can have a quality effect on their lives, and they can have a quality effect on your life. This is part of the meaningful work. In other words, the work you're doing is helping the people that you care about in life. They appreciate you, and they give back that value to you. And that's real validation. Okay, that's you doing something because you believe it's important, because it's a principle to you. And then other people acknowledging that principle as being valuable and giving value back to you. Okay, that's the second thing in life that people need to be happy. And the third thing that people need to be in life to be happy is a little bit of alone time, to think about what you care about, to reflect upon what's important to you in life, to not be pushed so hard, so fast, every day, all the time, that you've got enough time to appreciate what you do and who you're doing it with. Okay? That's your happiness. That's your health, your wealth, and your happiness. And you can have that with $60,000 a year, or you could have it with $60 million a year. Okay? You are going to need at least about 60,000 though, just to get by. Maybe less in other places, more or less. The approval of women who think you're a clown, you don't need that to be happy in life. And if you get that, right, and you chase that, and you place that as being of high value in your life, These people are going to be able to pull the rug out from under you at any given moment, and they will pull the rug out from under you at the most inopportune moment. So I don't want that for you guys. There's more for you, okay? You can have all of the money, you can have all of the power, you can have all of the validation, and you don't have to jump through hoops for unworthy people. You can be true to yourself and to your principles, and you can share them, and you can grow them and build them in the world. And it won't be easy, okay? And other people can cut corners, and they can appeal to other people and live secondhand through the approval of those other people. But that doesn't mean they're accomplishing anything. That doesn't mean they're having a meaningful and purposeful existence. That just means that they're kissing ass and jumping through hoops and performing like a trained SEAL for the audience so that they can get the approval. Now, when I meet a person like that, I don't care how much money they have. I know what I'm dealing with. I know who I'm dealing with. Okay? Now, when I meet a person of character with principles and values, but who hasn't necessarily attained those principles and values yet, again, I know who I'm dealing with, and I know the kind of trouble that they're looking at. Okay. And I'm telling you that be true to yourself, be true to your values, be true to your principles. Okay. You don't have to force them on anybody else, but this is where meaning and purpose is within your life, not the approval of other people, not being famous. That's not it. Okay. The idea, I promise you, is that you have principles and values and something of value that you are contributing to the world, making a positive difference in the world and the people that you care about. And then they are then giving this back to you. And that is the true validation. You ever see a kid who gets a laugh on a joke and just keeps trying to tell the same joke over and over again? Don't be that guy. Okay? Don't do that in your own life. This is not easy. This is a tricky situation. What do you care about? Okay? It's not an easy question. This is where you need some time to think about it. What do you want in life? It's not an easy question. You know, you want money, you want power? Sure, yeah. You want security? Yeah, sure you do. Everybody wants those things. And not having those things, it's really tough. It's really hard. What are you willing to do now to get them? Are you willing to compromise yourself? I mean, we're talking about, the 1,000 cocks stare, right? The woman is looking at having to look at 1,000 cocks for the rest of her life. That's how she's going to get by in life. I was a real hustler when I was younger, like in my early 20s. Yeah, just like yesterday. But I knew that I was also a salesman, okay? And when I say, but I wasn't a good salesman. And what I mean by that is I was very good at selling things, but the things I sold were not good, okay? And I could make a lot of money at it too. But I didn't want to do it. I chose not to do it. I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to debase myself. I'm not going to cheat and lie and manipulate and maneuver people so that I can have money in my pocket. I'll do other work. I'll do work that's actually valuable to them and gives them something. I'll paint their house. I'll fix their electrical systems. I'll design their, information systems and train their people. And then they can give me the money. And I'll have just as much money, but I won't have compromised and sold myself out. I won't have betrayed myself. And that was the decision I made. And I made it like in my mid-20s. And I'm glad I made it, and it was the right decision. Hey, Bob. Pulaski Bob is here. He says, hit the likes. Yeah, hit the like button, Fascinating that YouTube took away the dislike button, Kind of doesn't have the same value when you take away the opposing value of it, does it? So in order for you to have values throughout the day, you're going to have to struggle and choose which ones supersede other ones. And it's going to be a struggle. And the price you pay, like you're not just bullshitting people for their approval. You know what I mean? But what you do say, at least it's real. Okay. At least you know you're not full of shit and you're not bullshitting. You know, and that's what enables me to just be able to come on here and start to talk to you guys. I mean, honestly. And this is what disallows somebody else from coming on here without a script. You know, now I would be better served with a script, but you know, these ideas, they're constants. They're almost like absolutes, you know, and you come to them from a long life of having made these mistakes, you know. So I'm suggesting that you don't live for the approval of the women, even though I know on some level all men want the approval of women. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting the approval. Okay, this is built into us. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in trying to get that approval. That's fine. That's what you want to do. That's what you do. I'm saying don't compromise yourself. Don't betray yourself in trying to get that. And that's what they're going to want you to do. That's the price you have to pay to be part of this collective, okay? What is 2 + 2? All you have to do is say that it's not 4. That's all you've got to do. And you can have the job, and you can be in the group, and you can get the insurance. And, you know, as long as whenever anybody else comes around and says 2 + 2 is 4, as long as you laugh at them and make fun of them and drive them out, you can still be part of the group. That's all you got to do. And I'm saying to you, don't do it. I'm saying to you, be true to yourself. Say 2 + 2 = 4. You're going to get fired. And now go away and do your math. That's what I've done. Okay, that's the way it has to be. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. I'm saying, do me a favor, if you get the chance, read the book, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. And if you don't want to read the book, go ahead and watch the movie, okay? It's a decent movie. You know, it's an older black and white movie. It's about ideas. It's about principles. It's about things. It's not about explosions or, you know, the world coming to an end. It's about human principles and ideas. So go ahead and watch the movie and let me know what you think about the character Peter Keating, okay? Because he's very successful. Oh, yes. He's very highly thought of in the engineering, you know, in the architectural industry, but he sucks. He has no talent. He has no skill. He can't do anything. All he can do is say yes to the boss and look good and sound good. But when he actually has to get work done, do you know who he has to go to get that work done? That's right. The man of principle, the man of character, the man with values, the man who values his own work, the man who values his own life. You want to sell that out for the approval of some skanky tramp who's going to sleep with anybody who's got X amount of money that's willing to give it to her? Is that who you want to get the approval of? Would you like to get the approval of the guy who's simping to get that girl? How about that? How's that? Let's take your life goals and principles and your standing as a man, okay? And let's just throw that in the gutter for some profits or for some compliments. You want to make that compromise? And here's the thing. We do make that kind of a compromise in life. But hopefully we recognize it and we make the corrections before we wind up on that road. Let me tell you, okay, the end road for these characters that do not have actual human values in their life, it's not good. They die, okay? Death is a mercy to them. They can't stuff their faces enough. They can't feed themselves enough. They can't hustle up enough bullshit. They can't take enough drugs. They can't get enough applause. And their life is meaningless and empty. And they have no friends. And they have nothing meaningful and purposeful that they're working on in life. And there's nothing really to lose. And they can always be involved in popular culture and entertainment. And they can always adopt whatever views the group is, indulging in right now and be part of the group. So yeah, read the story, watch the movie, and see what happens to people who don't have values. Understand what they really are and what their end really is. Because it's not a human end, it's an animal end. And that's what it is, right? That it's just people just wanting to do what feels good, not thinking. So don't do that, okay? And you're going to pay a nasty price along the way. I understand that. But it's the only respectable price. In other words, if you're the manager at the company who picks the boss's nephew for his team, okay, then I assure you, none of the projects that you work on in the company are actually going to be effective. They might very well get the approval of the boss. They very might well get finance. They might very well give you an award at the end of the year for an outstanding performance. But it's none of those things. It's compromising your principles and your values to please other people, okay? And that is being a man of high value. Of high value to who? Be a man of high value to yourself, to the people who you value. Do not betray your friends. Do not betray your principles to get the girl. There'll be times when you've got to make decisions. That's a part of having values, is that one, it's a value in relation to something else, okay? Do not envy the person who has sold their soul for approval. Understand that even the approval that they have is conditional. They didn't earn it. It's not theirs. It's being given to them to get them to do something. You're remembering that, right? You remember that. You remember why they're withholding basic human affection from you. And it's not because you're not worthy of it. You are. It's because they want you to hand over your stuff. It's not just that they want you to hand over their stuff. They want you to live for them. They want you to be willing to compromise. They don't want you to have principles. They don't want you to have values. They want to be able to insert those things into you. And if you don't find your own and build your own, then we can. And media and culture and society can insert their values into you. The great line, you see this world as, one of moral decay. And it's true. It is. You see this world as something that needs to return to its values. But it's not. It's something that needs to discover its values for the first time. Okay? You need to discover the things that are valuable to you in your life. And then you need to serve those things. And that'll give you meaning and purpose. And then you can share these things with other people. And that'll give you rich, rewarding relationships. And that will give you health, wealth, and happiness. But the other thing, no, that might give you some material success for a little while. But the compromise, of your own principles, of your own values, will eat your soul and will leave you destitute with nothing, no place, and you will not even have your own character to turn to. I'm kind of saying to you that there will come the dark night of the soul for all of us. And, when you reach that place, who's there with you? What have you got? I would like for you to have yourself at your own side. I'd like for you to have a Swiss Army knife that's sharp and it's got some good tools with it. I don't want you to be there with fucking Lady Gaga CD, or just an attitude of no substance. Yeah, check out The Fountainhead, and trust me, you'll like it, okay? As MGTOW, you will like it, okay? And let me know what you think of the Peter Keating character. And just so you know, the main character in The Fountainhead is named Howard Rourke. And yeah, that's partly who I'm named after. That's exactly right. What does Retro Scotty have to say? He says, yep, just George Lucas gave the rights to Lucasfilms to a woman, Kathleen Kennedy, who has ruined Star Wars and slaughtered the male characters. Yeah, and what did he do it for? He did it for money. And Disney did it because they want the property. And, what they're going to do with the property, you already know, is they're going to use it to get their ideology out there. Now, are they using it to make money? Yeah, they are. But, they're using it for their ideology. I'll mention that and then I'll shut this one down. The left uses unmoral, unethical practices against people who they don't think share their ideology. In other words, an employee at Twitter who doesn't necessarily like Jordan Peterson might very well, put strikes against his account unjustly because ideologically he feels he's, utterly justified in mistreating somebody like that. Or a Google employee might hack your YouTube channel and sell it to somebody because they don't like what it is you talk about. And this is, the price you pay to get into the collective, So again, it's not betraying their values and their principles because they don't have values and principles. The values and principles they have are the values and principles that the group has given to them. And the only way to prove that they have those values is to hurt other people who don't seem to have those values. So, that's largely what we're dealing with. That's right. You are being politically censored and it won't show up as political censorship. An effective political attack does not show up as a political attack. It shows up as, well, what did you expect us to do? We could do nothing else. That's an effective attack. And that's how it shows up. So, all these people who don't agree with this feminized, Marxist, collectivist, trigger warning, safe space bullshit, they're fascists. And we're going to, we're going to cheat them. You're going to hack their account. You're going to sell their account. You're going to deplatform them because obviously they're not decent human beings who share our values. So, in other words, they're doing the wrong thing for the right reason. Of course, they're not. They're doing it for group approval. They're doing it, they're doing what I'm telling you not to do. You can even do it in the wrong direction too. You know what I mean? Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with this constant attack on your values. You think that you can just go your own way, but the truth is it's a little bit more difficult than that because your values are going to constantly be challenged and compromised. You're going to have to, get along. You're going to have to make these decisions. You've got people around you that are pretending to have values and principles that they don't have. They just want group approval, and they're going to tear you down for having principles and values. And that's exactly what the men are dealing with. And you must know, all right, that without the principles and the values, that you will die, okay? That you will come to the dark night of the soul, and there will be nothing there for you. And it will be empty. And you will say, what is the point? And the answer is, at that level, there is no point. I'm sorry. They've sold themselves out. They've betrayed every last drop of decent human nature within them to get the approval of the group and to be part of the group and have a lot of stuff. Okay? You can get by without too much stuff. I promise you. Okay? You don't need too much. You'll be okay. And on that note, let me just say, go ahead and click on the Howard Dare Cash App, link, because I need your support so that I can just continue to come on here and make content, put out videos and come and talk to you guys. But that's the message, okay? Be true to your principles, be true to your values, In the end, there's nothing else that really matters. Yeah, you need to get by. Yeah, you're going to need to compromise along the way. It's true. Okay. But, you know, give up the small ones, stay true to the big ones. Understand that the people who have the approval and the validation of the group, that there's two possibilities going on there. One, they are really offering something of great value to the world, and the world is, just acknowledging that. And two, they have compromised themselves utterly, sold themselves out, and now they are part of the group, and the group is going to slap them on the back and congratulate them and hang out with them and do them favors and stuff like that. And all they've done is sold their soul. That's all they've done. They've just given up their human soul. And this is what I want to know, what you think about the character Peter Keating in The Fountainhead. Like, would you want to be that guy? Would you want to be that guy who's successful, who wins the awards, who has the credit for everything, but in truth has nothing? Or would you rather be the guy who has the condemnation, the disapproval, the rancor of everybody, of the world, of his own peers in his own industry, of the justice system that wants to put him in jail, but still, even through all of that, is still true to his principles? And this is the Howard Rourke character. Which one do you think actually makes it to the end? Which one do you think actually makes it to the end of life? Which one do you think really gets the prize? What do you think the prize really is? Do you think the prize is the approval of the world around you? If like you haven't given anything of value, would you want to be famous for nothing? How's Paris Hilton doing these days? How are all those beautiful young starlets that, they're just so impressive? How are they doing now that they've hit the wall and lost their looks? What kind of roles are they getting now? What kind of parts are they getting now? I wonder how they feel about life now, because they're not so pretty anymore, are they? So, just something to think about, right? Hey, what's this? Masculine men do not need the police. In fact, they are the ones that come for you if you dare defend yourself from violent criminals. Again, fuck them all. Yeah. Well, hey, we pay the police so that they can fucking victimize and abuse us. They're not protecting us. They're not here to protect anybody. They're here to enforce the rules of the collective. That's how they get their pay. And the people that they took that money from was you. So when he's walking around in his nice fucking SUV with all of his equipment and all of his uniform, you're the one who paid for it. We paid for it. And it's like, well, you didn't personally pay for it. No, I personally paid for it. Okay? And it's not just the money that they took from me. It's the money that they didn't use to build the school and to build the recreation center and to build the medical center. Okay? Instead, they used it to employ more cops, to make up more rules, to arrest more men so that they can justify their existence within the group. But the group doesn't need them or want them. Bunch of look, 90% of them are just fat and out of shape. So what the hell do you think is going on there? Okay? I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying that 90% of them are out of shape. So what does that tell you? Firemen aren't like that, though, right? Firemen are usually in pretty good shape. Yeah, go ahead, be a fireman. The ideal IQ for a prison guard is 95. Okay? You want him smart enough to follow orders, but not so smart to come up with his own ideas. What's this? Retro Scotty says, Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, definitely hit the wall with abuse of drugs and alcohol, as did other celebrities. Yeah, what was the other one? Kate someone, right? Yeah. No, it's an empty existence, okay? The approval and the admiration of the masses is not what's going on. Frank Jetson is here. Holy smokes. How's it going, Frank? Thanks for stopping by. Jetsons was one of my favorite shows. Captain MGTOW School is here. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm pretty sure Captain MGTOW's got a nice channel over there, too. If you have ambition, don't get in a relationship with women. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, they'll subvert all of that, effort and energy into, giving them stuff so that they can then, give you affection and give you a little bit of approval, like a dog that's getting a pat on the head. What a life. Ooh, yeah, Neil Peart. Read a lot of the lyrics in Rush. He was amazing. Yeah, he was a big fan of Ayn Rand. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Fountainhead is by Ayn Rand, okay? And that is exactly what I'm talking about. And it really is a defense of capitalism and freedom and individualism and going your own way. That's what it is. And this is the same philosophy that Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill tried to share with the world in Think and Grow Rich. This is the same philosophy from the American founding fathers of no taxation without representation. In other words, they're taking our resources, right? This is the same philosophy from out of the Renaissance, of the Enlightenment, of we are not to be ruled by kings, but we are to be ruled by, human laws and rules for the people, of the people, by the people. This is the same philosophy going back all the way to Aristotle with the simple law of identity of A equals A. A thing is the thing. It's not subjective. It's not open to interpretation. It is what it is. And that's what it is, right? So it's the same philosophy, just coming out, different stories. It's always needed. It's always a struggle. It's coming to a head here, in our situation. So click on the Howard Dare Cash App, link. Help out the Howard Dare channel. Let me spread this message. Let me get this message to the people who need this message. As I said, I'm not here to get popular. I'm not here to, win the approval of people. I'm here so that when the man comes to the dark night of the soul, where the whole world has betrayed him, there's a light, there is strength, there is purpose, there is meaning. There is something that he has to offer the world. There is a Swiss Army knife with some sharp tools in it. Okay? There's not a broken man who physically can give no more, who emotionally can give no more, who psychologically can give no more, who is at his wit's end. No, I don't want you there. Okay? I want you in this other stronger place. And the way to get there is by going your own way and being your own man and being true to your own values and sticking with it and pushing through, okay? Not being popular. All right. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Thank you, everybody, for, hanging out, stopping by. Help out the Howard Dare channel if you're in a position to do so right now. I am not in a position. I can't even go and get a job. I can't even go work in a warehouse. You know what I mean? Which I would gladly do. I would love to work in a fucking warehouse, just moving things and stacking things and shit like that. Getting paid like, $17 an hour or something like that. No, I'm disallowed. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be here either, but I'm here because it's important. And I won't get paid. I won't make money off of it. I won't get popular off of it. Okay? I could make different videos. I could make videos about girls dancing on TikTok. That's all. All I got to do is just, boom, here she is. What do you guys think? What do you rate her as? A 1, a 2, a 3, a 5. Here's what she has to say about men and relationships. What do you got? I could do that. Not going to do that because it's not going to help the man when he reaches, when he's alone, when he reaches the bottom. It's not going to help him. But this will. This can. So help me do that. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments section. Like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.